Now let's start filling out the order book. So the order book is going to go here. And this is where all the open, buy, and sell orders are going to go. All right. So if you remember from the Introduction to Exchange section, I talk about how the order book works. Basically, there's going to be buy orders and sell orders. And from the person's perspective who's going to fill the order, basically you can click on the order to either buy it or sell your asset to fill the order. Okay. So let's actually fetch the open order so that we can fill this out. All right. So we'll go back to our selectors. And what we're going to do is get a selector to make sure that the canceled orders have been loaded and also that the all orders have been loaded. All right, so if you look here, fill orders loaded. All right, and fill orders, we have a selector for that as well. We want to create more selectors. We want to try to fetch the canceled orders and also all the orders. All right, so just above here, I'm going to paste this in for canceled orders. All right, here we go. That basically works just like filled orders. All right, so canceled orders, basically we're just looking inside the state in the exchange to make sure that the canceled orders have been loaded, just like filled orders. And also cancel orders loaded. All right, we use create selector here. And same thing for here. Basically, cancel orders, we just want to fetch that data out and then also return an empty array if it doesn't exist. All right, so now we'll do the same thing for all orders, all right? And basically, it's going to look the exact same. So I'll just put it here. This would be all orders. All right, so all orders loaded, state, exchange, all orders loaded, and all orders is basically going to just be all orders data. All right. So we'll create a selector that fetches the open orders, right? So this is filled orders. This is canceled orders. I'm going to put these closer together. All right, let's do this, and this is all orders. Now let's go down below this, below the filled orders. This is long, getting pretty long. You could refactor this and break it up into multiple files if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep it in one file because it's just easier for the sake of this boot camp. And also, you'd find yourself importing a lot of different selectors over and over and over again into other files. So I'm just going to keep it all in here. All right, so I'm going to create an all orders selector. And really, we're going to call this the order book selector. How about that? That's going to be a little better naming, I feel like, for the order book. So let's first create a selector to say that the order book is loaded, just like these, right? So I'm going to copy this and say, let's just use this as a reference point. I'll move this down here. All right, so this is what all orders loaded looked like, but let's create a new one that says, order book loaded. And instead of just digging into the state, we know the order book is loaded if the canceled orders have loaded and the filled orders have loaded and also the all orders have loaded. Okay, so we'll do that like this. A canceled orders loaded. Say state. And filled orders loaded. State. And all orders loaded. State. All right. So if this is true, and this is true, and this is true, then we know that the order book has loaded. All right. So we don't need to keep track of a special Boolean flag for this. We just know it depends upon all these things. All right. So why does it depend upon these things? Well, we're going to build the order book from all of the orders that have ever been added to the Exchange smart contract, minus the filled orders, the ones that have already been filled, minus the orders that have already been canceled. So that's why we need all of these in order to create the order book. Okay, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to create a selector for the order book that's going to fetch out all the orders, and it's going to take out these, and it's going to take out these. Okay, so we'll do it like that. We'll say create order book. All right, so here we'll say export const order book selector equals create selector. All right, so inside of here, we'll pass in open orders. All right, so open orders is coming from up here. We'll pass in open orders, and we will use a similar pattern to this, where we, did a procedure here and, decorated the orders, okay? So I'll say orders, I'll pass in a function. And here, let's just return the orders for now. But inside of here, we're going to decorate the orders. So this will be in charge of decorating the orders, and we'll create some methods that do that, or some functions that do that. But I want to create this open orders function that we're going to pass in here to actually do what I talked about, where we subtract the filled orders from the canceled orders from all the orders. Okay, so I'll do that right here. Let's create a new function called open orders. Say const open orders. Let's say state. All right, so here we'll say const all. It's going to be all orders. State. All right, so remember we just created this selector a minute ago, so all. And canceled equals state. And same thing for filled. Okay. Now we can create open orders like this. Here's where we'll do the subtraction. We're going to use low dash. So remember, we've used this before. We're going to use reject. So basically, we'll loop through this and reject values that match a certain predicate. Okay. So basically, I'll do that like this. We'll say const open orders equals reject all. Right, here's all. And we'll say order. Pass in a function. And I'll say const order filled. So we know it's a filled order if it exists inside the array of filled orders. So we say filled sum. Check the order. See if the order ID equals the order ID. All right. So basically, if it exists inside of here, then we know it's a filled order, and we don't want to include it in here, so we reject it. All right. So filled orders. Same thing for order canceled. Is it canceled? I guess we can reorder these just so it's consistent. All right, and so now we'll return order filled or order canceled. Okay, so basically this means we're going to reject the order if it's filled or canceled, and this is how we determine if it's filled or canceled. We check inside the filled array, and if the IDs match, then it's been filled. If it's canceled and the IDs match, then it's been canceled. So if either one of those is true, we want to reject it from open orders. And then we just return open orders. All right, so that's how we select the open orders, and we take out all the filled and rejected ones. And we inject that into the order book selector and return the orders that way. Okay, now what we'll do is decorate the orders now that we have the open orders inside the order book selector. And really what we want to do is, add some extra attributes to them, right? Mainly we just want to determine, we want to do the same thing we did up here where, we create a, these attributes, the ether amount and the token amount. And we also want to, basically do this basic decorate order operation that we did here. We'll say decorate order book orders. How about that? So we'll say orders equals decorate order book orders. Passing the orders here. All right. So let's define this function. And we'll say const. All right. All right, inside of here, we want to do a similar pattern we did above. Say return, say orders, map, order. And we say order equals decorate order. Pass it in. All right, and then we're just going to return it for now. We're going to do one more thing here. We're going to create a new decorator specifically for that, but that gets us started. So, we can create the selector. We're going to decorate the orders first. We'll do more here. But for now, we're just going to do this, and then we're going to decorate the order like we did with this basic decorator here. And now we're going to create a new decorator that specifically adds some attributes for the order book. So what we want to do is determine whether it's a buy order or a sell order in the order book. So how do we do that? Well, basically, if the token give in the order is ether, then it's a buy order. All right. And if it's not, it's a sell order. And then we we decorate this order book to say whether it's a buy order or a sell order. And we'll basically just do that like this. We'll say const decorate order book order equals order. All right. And then say const order type equals order dot token give. All right. If it's equal to ether address, then it's a buy order. All right. Sorry. It's a question mark. And then if it's not, it's a sell order. All right. So that makes sense. If you're buying a token, you're giving ether. All right. You're getting a token, you're giving ether. It's a buy order. All right. So that's a buy order. And if not, it's a sell order. And then so we return. We'll say order type. All right. And then we're going to give it some classes just like we did up here. So instead of a token price class, we're going to give it an order type class. We'll say order type. Order type class. So if the order type is a buy order, then it's green. And if it's not, it's red. All right. So then, if it is a buy order, then we'll say a sell or buy. All right. So this will have implications later, but basically I'm just going to assign some CSS classes here so that we can fill out our exchange like we want to. Okay, so next, let's call this. Say order equals decorate order book order, and I'll pass in the order. All right, so I'll pass that in, boom, done. All right, so I think that's all we want to do inside this decorator. All right, so decorate order book orders, decorate order book order. All right, so now we need to do some more here. We've decorated the orders. Now we actually want to sort them into buy orders and sell orders, okay? So what we're going to do is group them. So if we go back to the Lodash documentation, you can see this group. So group by. So what this does is we can basically take a collection like this and call group by on a particular attribute. So we could group by the length here and so say everything that has a length of 3, return an object, and the key will be the length, which is 3, and it'll return all the results that match that. And everything that has a length of 5, we'll put it under this key, and this will be all the results that match that. So for us, we want to group by the order type, and that will give us basically an object with two keys of each order type, buy and sell. And then each of those keys will have a value. That'll be the buy orders and the sell orders. All right. So we'll do that here. We'll say group orders by order type. All right. So orders equals group by orders order type. Boom. Easy, done. Because we already did the order type here. So we got it. It's a buy or sell. All right. Then now we'll say we'll sort them by the token price. All right, because we want them to be ascending or descending. So we'll say sort by orders by token price. And we'll say orders equals orders. So by orders equals by orders. Let's see here. It's actually, we got to get the orders, by orders first. So we'll sort this, but I'll break it out in just a second. So by orders sort, and then A, B, then B token price minus A token price. All right. So now what I want to do is fetch the by orders. So fetch by orders. And we'll say const by orders equals get orders by. All right. So we group these and we can fetch all the by orders. And we'll return an empty array if there are none. And then we sort them just like this. And we'll do the exact same thing for the sell orders. So copy that. Say sell. Boom, done. All right. So that should be our order book selector. We decorate the order book. All right. We do the regular decorator, this new decorator that we just defined. And then we, use a selector to wire it up and sort it the way we want to. We sort them by, we group them first into buy orders and sell orders, and then we sort them once they're grouped by the token price. So the higher price will be first, and then the lower price will be last. All right. So let's use this. Let's actually use this order book selector to fill out the component. All right, I'll go ahead and create a new component in the same directory as our app component. So new file. And I'll say order book. All right, so you can see that here, order book. So let's see here. Let's create a new component, just like we did our nav bar. I've just created some boilerplate code for this order book. So yeah, we can see new React component called order book here, order book here. I've got a blank map state to props. I've called this order book. This is basically just what was on the screen already, but I added a table here inside the card body and cleared out all that content. So let's go back to our app component and import it. We'll say, let's see here. Oh, sorry, the content section. Let's go to the content section and import it. So we did trades already. Let's do the order book. So order book. All right. So we can clear out where the order book is. So it's not inside the first thing. Let's take a look. It should be here. Oh, well, we can't see it. All right. Let's kill this. And let's kill this. I believe it's this first vertical section. All right. So I'm going to take this out. And yeah, this is vertical section. Order. Book. All right, save that. All right, so we got some issues, compilation issues. So reject is not defined, group by is not defined, and order is not defined. So let's import those into the selectors. That's my fault. Let's see here. And from Lodash, we want to say group by and reject. All right, there's one more error. Order is not defined. So line 159, scroll down there. Line 159. Let's see here, order. Okay, so this would be orders. My fault. All right, so here's our order book component, all rendered out. So I've got the title order book here and a blank table, and this is where we're going to put all of our orders. So let's wire up the selector we just created inside of this component. We will import it like this. We'll basically just say, import order book selector, and oops, sorry. And then also order book loaded selector from ... store selectors. All right. So now we'll use these down here. We'll say order book selector. And we'll say show order book. We'll say order book loaded. All right, so we only want to show the order book if it's actually loaded. So let's see what those values are. Let's just console log inside this render function. Order book loaded. Oh, show order book, sorry. And then also order book. All right, so let's just save that, go to our browser. All right, so this is not imported. Oh, so it's not exported. All right, let's go back here. Let's see, what's wrong here? Order book loaded selector. Okay, I didn't actually create a selector for this. So let's do create selector. We'll just copy one for reference. All right, so instead of order book loaded, we'll say so field orders loaded. All right, we'll just paste that in. Boom. All right, looks better. There we go. So let's open up our console and see what's logged. All right, so it was false, and now it's true. And we can see all the orders. Boom, there we go. So we can see the buy orders, and we can see the sell orders. Boom, there we go. Awesome. So here's the buy orders. All right. And here's the sell orders. We've got 10 of each. Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what we expect. So let's list them out onto the page. First, I'm going to fill in this table. All right. Just like we did in the last video, we used a function to render out all the content inside the table. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to say const show order book. All right. This will accept props. All right. So what I'm going to do is basically render out the orders inside of here. So this will just render out all the orders. And just like in the last video, where we only want to load the orders if this is loaded. So we want to show order book if, show order book is true. Okay. So I'll do that like this. I'll basically just say this.props show order book. If that's true, then we show it. Call that function. Pass in this.props. And if it's not, we want to render the spinner. Remember, we created the spinner in the last video. So we'll say spinner. And this is a table, so say type equals table. All right, we need to import the spinner. So let's do it like this. Let's just pull in what we had from the last example. So that was in trades. So import spinner from spinner. Do it like this. All right. Let's go back to our browser and see what happens. So reload it. All right, we see the spinner flash, and then it goes away. All right, so that's good. We know that's working. Now let's actually go inside of this function and render out the orders. So, let's see. We're going to have to do the buy orders and sell orders separately. So what I'm going to do first is create this function. I'll say return, and then I will return the table body. Say tBody. All right, and then inside of here, I'm going to basically list buy orders. Actually, that doesn't work. I'll delete this in a second. So I'll say list sell orders, actually. And then we're going to create a little table row that shows the prices. Show prices. Or not the prices, but the assets. Show assets. And then we'll list the buy orders. So there's 3 things we need to do in here. List the sell orders, create a divider, basically, or show divider, I'll say divider. And then list the buy orders. So that's the 3 things. All right, this is not real code. Sorry, I know this will break. But let's do that. So basically, we're going to take all the orders, actually fetch them out of props like this, like const order book. This is a really nice way to do this in ES6. All right, so you can basically just do this, and it will take this object and then fetch the key order book from it and assign it to a variable. And we could do more, we could say show order book, just like that. And it would allow us to fetch all these variables out of there like that and create new ones. So that's really nice. I like this. We'll say order book, sell orders, and then we'll map over them. Order, and then we're going to create a new function to render those out. All right. Render order, and then order props. Okay. So that's listing all the sell orders, and we'll create a function to do that. And then we'll do the same thing for the buy orders. All right. And then we'll show this divider. So our divider is just going to look like this. It's going to be just a table row. Boom. So it's going to show the token, and then the token price, and then the ether amount. So the token amount, price, ether amount. That's the divider. So now we're going to create a function to create table rows for the sell orders and table rows for the buy orders. We use the same function for each of those, right? Now, this is going to start getting kind of big inside this React component, so you could certainly refactor this yourself into multiple components. I'll leave that to you as an exercise, but I want to be pretty straightforward so that you can see everything while we're building this, because it can get really confusing really fast if you start having a bunch of nested components. It's hard to kind of conceptually keep track of where everything is, but if you're comfortable with that, feel free to do that on your own. I'm just going to get you started here. We'll say const render order. All right, and inside of here, we're just going to say order. All right, and we'll return a table row. It'll look like this. So we just created a table row that has a key of the order ID, and we just put in the token amount, and we show the token price, and we show the ether amount, right? So let's also refactor this. So the class name is going to be based on the class that we set up inside the selector, all right? So we can basically say this. We want it to be red or green depending on the class. So text, or the type, right? Text dash use $. This is string interpolation inside of ES6. So this is a string that I can evaluate JavaScript inside of. It's $, and then inside these curly braces, we'll say order type class. Okay, so that's how you do it. All right. So we can detect that from the order type, and it'll be green or red depending on what it is. So let's save this and see if it works. And actually, before we do that, we only need the order here. We don't need the props just yet. We'll need them later because we're going to wire this up to actually fill the orders, but we're not going to do that in this video. We're just going to list them out. So save this, go back to the browser. All right, we've got an issue here. So it's a syntax error. Looks like it's missing a curly brace. All right, no big deal. I can fix that. So see where it's on line 24. All right, orderbook.js, line 24. So I see what it is. Sorry, maps a function, and it accepts a function as an argument. So I forgot to do this. Sorry, guys. Save that. All right, there we go. There's all our orders listed out in the order book. That's pretty awesome. You can see the orders up here and the orders down here. We've got them grouped by buy orders and sell orders, and we've got the red and the green based on the order type. We got the sell orders here and the buy orders here. Awesome. So that's a lot of really great work. All right, so I think that's it for this section. I'm gonna go back and just double check here, make sure we didn't miss anything. But we created this order component. We've created the selectors to get everything out of here. I'm gonna kill some of this space at the bottom. Yeah, I've done a lot of really great work here, done a lot of the heavy lifting. In the next video, we are going to fill out this section where we show, all of the orders that I have created. So my, open orders in the order book, and also my filled orders from the trades that have already, been traded. All right, and I'll catch you in that video.